Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Summer on the Mic. If this is your first time, I'm Miss Summer, and this is episode 6. If this isn't your first time, my returning customers, thank you, welcome back. Today, we'll be discussing self awareness, and this is a topic that has resonated with me for a while now. I keep hearing the word self awareness, being self aware. I hear certain people describe themselves as basically being self aware and knowing their worth and this, knowing who they are. So today we'll be discussing about that. I'm going to try and break it down a little bit today, and subsequently we'll be able to learn from people's experiences and also elaborate more on the topic. But first of all, what do you think self-awareness is? Basically being self-aware, yeah, understanding yourself also. But you can say that a broader definition of self-awareness is the ability to accurately access and understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your drives, your beliefs, your preferences, and your personality in such a way that it enables you pinpoint how they impact your behavior, yourself in general, and also those around you. So now this definition is broadly classified into two different things. We're looking at self-awareness from the aspect of knowing certain things about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your preferences, and then on the flip side, how it impacts your behavior, how it impacts you yourself, and how it impacts those around you. So those are the two angles we are looking at it from today. Now, in my last episode, Peculiar and I discussed the art of decision making, and from that episode, we were able to pinpoint that to be very good at making decisions, you must first of all outline your values, get your values straight. Peculiar mentioned that you must also know what you want. You can't make decisions if you don't know what you want. You must be able to trust yourself and the decisions you're making. We mentioned that you should own up to your choices and own up to your decisions. And yeah, many other things that we listed. But to do all of these things, you must first of all be self-aware. You won't be able to know how to hold yourself accountable or even know what your values are. I talk more of standing on your values because you haven't actually accessed them. So self-awareness is what helps you to access what your values are to now be able to say, okay, from here I can make decisions. In that episode as well, I mentioned how previously, before, if I wanted to make a decision as to what color of clothing or maybe what choice of clothing item I wanted to buy, I would ask my mom if it looked better on my skin or if one outfit was better than the other. But then if you think about it, if you're self-aware, you know what you want, yeah, and you're the one putting on the outfit, you're the one who will wear the outfit at the end of the day. So if you don't know what you want, or if you don't understand yourself and understand what you like, if somebody else tells you what they think will look good on you, they are making the decision based on what they like, what they know they like. And you, on the other hand, don't even know what you like. It's okay to seek guidance if you need any advice, basically, but don't let it be something that you just stick to and you're not able to make decisions on your own. So self-awareness helps you to understand yourself. It helps you to understand what you're good at and what you're not so good at. It also helps you to understand your triggers. So what gets you offended? What are little things that people say that triggers you? What are your triggers? So maybe if somebody says keep quiet, it gets you offended, or it triggers like a certain emotion in you. Or maybe if somebody even does something, it reminds you of a certain thing that gets you so angry. You must be able to identify your emotions when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're feeling envious, when you're frustrated. You should be able to identify these emotions and be able to manage them. Most importantly, you must be able to manage all of these emotions, because you won't go around throwing triggers on people that did not hurt you. So now let's talk about how to increase your self-awareness. One, you must be mindful, very demure. You must be mindful. Start to notice things about yourself. Start to notice things that people say about you, especially if it's consistent. Maybe it's become consistent that people tell you, oh, you get angry very easily, or your mood changes very quickly. When you hear stuff like that regularly, you should know that this calls for me to work on this part of myself. Another thing is be mindful of your actions. Be mindful of how you treat people. In episode 4, we discussed, are you a driver or a passenger in your life? I've been trying to tie these topics together. And basically, to be a driver, you must be self-aware. We mentioned that 70% of the world blame other people for things that happen to them. So when things happen to you, instead of asking yourself, oh, why is this thing happening to me? Ask yourself, what can I take out of this moment? How can I do things differently? Or people keep telling you, oh, you get angry easily. Instead of saying why people always say I get angry easily, think about, what am I doing that makes people think about me in this way? Or what can I do differently that would change people's outlook at my emotions? Or if somebody keeps telling you, oh, your voice is really loud, instead of thinking about, why does she keep saying my voice is loud? Think about it from the aspect of, what can I do? How can I convey my message in such a way that I can still pass my message across without shouting? The second thing to do in increasing your self-awareness is ask yourself certain questions. And some of the questions you can ask yourself are, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are some preferences that you have? What are your drives? What are your beliefs? What are some biases that you have? Biases are basically preconceived notions that you have for or against things. So what are some biases that you have? It might be that you have a bias for Igbo people. You like Igbo people, that when you see them, you just have to accept anything that they tell you. Or maybe you have a bias against Igbo people, that if you see an Igbo person, you just want to do something hurtful to the person, that kind of thing. Understand your biases. It's not something that you should be ashamed of, but it's something that you should be conscious about, so that you don't go about throwing your emotions on people that do not even hurt you, or hurting people that do not even hurt you. So yeah, self-awareness helps you to understand your biases and helps you to manage them, allowing you the opportunity to make decisions objectively. So in the last episode, we also discussed how you have to be objective in your decision making. You can't be objective if you have all these factors that are guiding your, influencing your decisions, and you haven't been able to accurately access which one influences your decision making. So you have to make sure you understand what your bias is and set aside every emotion to actually allow you to make objective decisions. Another thing you should learn to do is reflect. I think I've spoken about this countless times in this episode. Learn to reflect. Think about your life. How did your day go? Did I what made me happy today? Were some things that got me really pissed off, and how did I react to certain things? How can I do better? This is not something I do every single day, but I try my best to do that. And I think what helps you do this is journaling. So I think learning to reflect and journaling go hand in hand. You have to learn to put certain pauses in your day to actually understand why certain things are happening to you, or what exactly is happening around you. Another way to increase your self-awareness is be open-minded. You have to be willing to try new things. You have to be willing to discover new things about yourself, discover all that there is to know about you. I believe in one of the episodes, I think The Power of Words, or you're exactly, yes, in the episode where I said you're exactly where you're supposed to be, so grow where you are, I mentioned that you're in the midst of creating power and purpose for yourself. Learn, discover certain things about yourself, discover all that there is to know about you. Some of you, they ask you what are your hobbies, you don't even know, you can't even list like 10 hobbies because you don't really know everything that there is to know about you. Seek feedback. Always ask people. Like the first thing I mentioned about being mindful and about things that people consistently say around you, in asking for feedback or in seeking feedback, you're asking people, oh, do you think this is the way I behave? And when they're actually telling you, oh, this is something that you actually do, take it like openly, take it constructively, like this is something that, oh, people have actually said that I do. Don't think about it like, oh, these people dislike me. Be very open about listening to what people have to say about you, and also work on it. If somebody is saying these things over and over again, work on it. One thing I love about self-awareness, something that strikes me about self-awareness, is that it gives you the capacity to learn from your mistakes, and it also allows you to keep growing. So when you know that this is something about you that people keep talking about, you're like, okay, I want to become a better version of myself. I want to do better. I don't want people to keep seeing me like this. So you're always striving to do more. That is one thing that self-awareness helps you to do. So always strive to become a better version of yourself, and that is something that self-awareness helps you to do. So yes, I really hope you've learned something new today, and I pray that you apply these tips towards becoming more self-aware and becoming more conscious about how your behavior impacts on other people around you and yourself, most importantly. So if this inspired you in any way, please make sure to share with somebody you think needs to hear this. Listen to all my other episodes as well, so you understand the journey and the process this podcast is going. Make sure you're following Somehow on the Mic on Instagram and on all podcast streaming platforms. And I will see you in my next episode. Bye, guys.